All right, welcome back to week 10 of CSL, guys. Toronto versus British Columbia. I'm JT Golgiap, and joining me today is the rare Wonder Cow. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Hopefully not quite so rare anymore. It's nice to be back for the second time this season.
Yeah, for sure. And what a game we have for you today. We have Toronto, who only have one loss so far in this entire year, 6-1 in the fall. We casted their only loss actually, so it wasn't a good showing for them. But when they were not on camera, they have been flawless. 6-1 and then 2-0 so far in the spring season. And of course, British Columbia, returning champions, still undefeated.
Yeah, both the teams are coming in here getting ready, and you say that they are undefeated except when they're being watched, but if these guys want to go all the way and take it to those finals, they are going to have to be playing on the land.
Yes.
You have a land final every year for the top four of these teams, which means that they better get themselves pulled together tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, of course, being on the stream can add a little bit more pressure to the players. They can get a little bit shy in front of camera, I guess, in a way. They know maybe their friends are watching live and they don't want to let them down or what have you. It can be a little bit of an exciting experience playing on stream.
Yeah, absolutely. The players certainly know when they're being casted, right? Because they've got to come through and sit in the lobby and get ready. Speaking of which, we do have players just filtering in here now, and I guess we'll start out the night with a couple of plugs because you can go ahead and join our Discord community and talk with Golgi and I and all the rest of the guys here guys and gals at the Collegiate Star League. If you want to join that community, just go ahead and type !Discord in chat, and it will tell you where to go. You can follow us on Twitter at @CStarLeague and CStarLeague Dota 2, I believe.
Collegiate Dota, I believe.
Oh yeah, it's Collegiate Dota. Excuse me. You are absolutely correct. And we also have other titles as well that go on here: StarCraft, CS:GO, yeah. Hearthstone, probably a couple others.
We have Smash also. Smash is always
that's
fun.
right. That's something that they added this last season, I believe. Super hype game. I'm glad to have them with us, of course, and we would be remiss not to thank our sponsors with nothing but gratitude for Twitch, the largest streaming platform in gaming, who support collegiate esports from PAX East to PAX West and many more events. The CSL wouldn't be what it is today without the help and support from them. Be on the lookout for cool opportunities to get involved with Twitch in the near future, and be sure to show them some love for their support on twitter.com/Twitch and on their Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Twitch.
All right, so guys, looks like the players are almost getting ready up here. We'll be just 1 minute. We're going to take one more minute of break, and then we'll be right back with the draft whenever we get that set up.
Radiant Team Ban. Radiant Team Ban.
All right, that did not take long at all. We are back for the draft already. You have University of Toronto on the Radiant and UBC Esports on the Dire.
The draft is already getting underway here. We're getting rid of a Rubik and a Tiny, and strangely a Bounty Hunter ban here for UBC. They must know University of Toronto have a particularly strong Bounty Hunter player.
Yeah, I feel like also maybe Bounty Hunter might be coming back in the meta a little bit. I was casting some of the Epicenter open qualifiers over the weekend, and whenever the games got towards the finals, it was both in South America, SEA, and North America. Teams were very keen on batting the Bounty Hunter, or sometimes even picking it the first phase.
Yeah, that's not something that we've been expecting to see a whole lot as of recently. It certainly hasn't whittled its way into pubs yet. It's been pretty steady over the last week, sitting around that 7 to 9% pick rate. But for the professional and top tier level players, don't necessarily always follow what pubs in general are doing.
10 seconds.
It might be also because a lot of the roamers, I mean, there are very few roamers left, I think, in the meta, and a lot of them are super hotly contested. I mean, we see two of them banned here, Tusk and Clockwork, who are super popular. And then that kind of leaves we got like Night Stalker and I guess Bounty Hunter slightly coming back. And a few that I can't really exactly think about, but there isn't a huge pool of roamers right now. Like Earth Spirit got nerfed quite a bit in the last patch as well, and a few others.
Spirit Breaker is somebody that you still see once in a while. He's
Right.
not banned out here, so we could potentially see a Spirit Breaker come into play. That Shadow Shaman can run as a semi-roamer himself. He does have 2 disables at level 2. He just needs to sit in lane long enough to get that level 2 or maybe level 3, and then he can kind of move around. And
Yeah, boots help a lot for Shadow Shaman roaming because his base move speed is slightly slow, but yeah, he has the gain potential. He has all the damage he needs with those right clicks.
Yeah, not just the damage, but also the disable, and of course he's also able to push down towers once he gets a kill. If he does manage to get level 6, of course.
Yeah.
By the time he hits
10
that 6,
seconds
usually the
remaining.
roaming period is over. Both teams actually getting pretty good pushing lineups so
5
far with their
seconds
first
remaining.
pick and kind of cueing that we're looking at a high aggression game.
Radiant
Yeah, Lycan has kind of shaped up to become one of the premier carries in this meta. And same thing with Fan Lancer. These two heroes weren't that popular at the beginning of the patch, but the later we go, more and more we're seeing these heroes come out as a lot more stronger than we initially thought. Lycan with the Helm Dominator, I think people have been sleeping on the item for a little bit, but the Helm Dominator rush on him is insane. And Fan Lancer, nowadays, sometimes not even going for a Diffusal Blade build we've been so used to. Going for like a Battle Fury, which, I mean, it might be a little bit too strong on the item right now. A lot of carries we usually don't see build it.
Yeah, and Lycan is one of these heroes that gets picked more the higher tier you go.
Right.
At
10
lower
seconds
tiers, you don't see him played a whole lot, partially because there's just not a lot of coordination. But once you
5
get up
seconds
to upper level play, you're talking he's in just short of about 10% of games, and he wins well over 60% of his games.
Oh, that is crazy.
Very, very, very strong hero right now.
Yeah.
In fact, he wins more at high level play than any other hero in the game.
So, comparatively speaking, probably the best hero in the game, statistically, I suppose.
Certainly for the level play that we're expecting to be looking at here. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, these two are as good as it gets here for CSL. UBC, the defending champions, obviously, trying to go for that repeat here, get that scholarship money. And University of Toronto, obviously. They call themselves the underdogs. In most of the matchups, they definitely are not. But UBC, probably one of the only matchups where they might actually feel like the underdogs here.
Yeah, UBC, an extremely strong team. I mean, some of these guys were here last year. I think Cal might have even been here for the last 2
10
years.
seconds remaining.
Right.
Like, these are players that have experience, that we know that they're
5
able to
seconds
execute. They
remaining.
are really scary, and they've had the time to make sure that their team can coordinate and communicate well, which means these pushing strategies are going to work for them. Lycan pairs very strong with Jakiro. We could even see a Beastmaster come out here potentially for offlane and really just watch towers crumble.
Yeah, Beastmaster, a hero that I kind of miss. The hero, I think, was slightly overtuned, obviously, at the start of the patch when he started summoning like random creeps and got the Axis buff, which was insanely strong. And then people were complaining about how overpowered he was, and then he got nerfed, and then you can't stop seeing him. But Nagasiren is still another hero that I love to talk about. It's a hero that we barely seen picked early on, but nowadays I feel like whenever I see a pro game, there's like a great chance that Nagasiren is going to be supporting.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, so Nagasiren, another one of these heroes that has an extremely good
5
win rate track
seconds
record over the last month or so. In particular, she's becoming more and more prevalent. She's still not
Radiant team
super
pick.
popular. Like,
Yeah.
you see her in like maybe 2% of games.
Ooh.
Well, maybe 1 out of 50, but her win rate is the third best in the game right now.
Yeah, but look at that combo from UBC. Nagasiren Enigma, that is some
That's why the
bravery.
bounty hunter ban right there.
Yeah.
Because Enigma's going to be in the jungle. You can't give away an invisibility rotator. They probably ban Ricky here as well.
Right.
10 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
especially the Potion 4, actually the only one that hasn't been picked for University of Toronto, so that actually might be a very good ban that UBC are thinking about. Silencer actually the pick, which also does make a lot of sense with the Wombo combo they're trying to go for here.
Yeah, the silencer has the potential to really, really screw up Nagasiren. Enigma doesn't really do too much to Lycan or Jakiro, but just
No.
being able to shut down that black hole
10
from across
seconds
the map
remaining.
gives
Yeah.
a lot of potential for disrupting team fights. Not to mention the big AoE potential of throwing down the Ravage on top of the call down with the global silence, and there's an entire team that can't defend itself.
So Toronto looking for the last pick. They actually have all of their reserve time still here, drafting quite confidently, so they can take all their time in the world. Also, another thing to mention here is that Unifor Toronto, this game is coming in with 2 subs here, so kind of coming in slightly under optimal stances here against probably the best team in the league.
So Bane is a very typical sort of pick for this kind of game. He sets you up extremely well for the missile. He sets you up extremely well for Tidehunter to ramble on up and get a crush out. And of course for the Shadow Shaman as well. If Shadow Shaman comes in, uses a Hex, uses a Shackle, the Bane is there to then Nightmare to give the Shadow Shaman time for another Shackle.
Right.
Can pretty much guarantee some early game kills. And that said, does not really contribute a whole lot to defense. Right now, they're extremely cooldown dependent on being able to defend towers. And with the Eidolons from the Enigma, the Naga Siren split, I assume that's going to be a mid Naga, the Jakiro Breath, as well as Lycan's Howl and Wolves. This is very, very dangerous territory for U of T. If they start to lose control of this map, and now Tinker as well, they're going to have a lot of trouble coming back.
So yeah, this support Naga has been a thing that I feel like I've seen a lot more recently with I mean the net is a beekeeping piercing root which can cancel TPs quite well in the early game. The minus armor from her Riptide can help a lot when it comes to taking objectives like Roshan, and pushing obviously helps, and she can help with the split push. If she can get farm, sometimes she goes for the Radiance. Usually I see them go for a Tranquil Boots into a Urn nowadays, Urn for the mana regeneration. Before she went kind of this awkward build where she went Mana Boots and into like a Mechanism, into a Guardian Greaves, which was a kind of a weird build that took a long time to get. But you know, I feel like this Urn build feel like it synergizes really well with her, especially with her song coming out, being able to heal her team in the middle of that song even without the Aegon Scepter on her.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the Urn build is probably the way to go here. You're going to be able to provide your team with a lot of just sustain through these pushes, which is really important, and you're going to get it much faster than you would get a Mechanism up. That being key. You will want a Mechanism this game, but you may even want to consider putting that Mechanism on the Chikiro.
Or Enigma.
They get it faster, or the Enigma as well. That's a good point, actually. Enigma's probably the hero for that. I totally forgot they had Enigma while I was talking.
Yeah, this lineup from UBC is quite something here. All right, so going into the game.
So what time do we think the first tower goes down? Because with all of this push, I would be pretty surprised to see it last. Like, we should have at least one tower down before 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, from both these teams, there's quite a considerable amount of push. Even, you know, Gyrocopter, very good at push thanks to his lane clear possibilities, and obviously mentioning the Shadow Shaman over on the side of Toronto is no joke once he hits level 6. But, you know, we are watching a Lycan game here where Hill is probably going to play by himself for most of the game, just farming up and jungling and taking towers wherever he can.
This is a really dangerous smoke rotation with the sleep to set up and then the shackle to follow up. You could kill a Lycan.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta be careful. Well, CJ is the one actually gonna break the smoke, which might be good for Hill. There's a slow coming up from PL here, and the shackles across the trees here, and the right click damages are coming in. Oh, and the Nightmare as well trying to set up to kill. Bane's doing damage to the Nightmare, obviously, and then the next spear is ready. They should end the sleep. Okay, God's Gift to Woman is going to be at 1337, taking a little bit of damage, but very much worth it for the first blood.
Yeah, you'll absolutely give up a healing pot in order to make sure that that is able to happen. That could have been a little more smoothly executed, to be honest, from our Radiant team. Not necessarily the best sign for the mid game when things get a little more hectic. That PL could have engaged a little bit faster. The sleep could have come out in advance, and they probably wanted to kill that Jakir before he got into his tower.
Yeah.
That said, I mean, the first blood is first blood. Just things to keep in mind as we move toward the game. And also, look at this Bane just perched up here, waiting for an opportunity to snipe a courier, knowing that a Tinker is probably going to get a bottle pretty early.
Yeah. Obviously, a little bit harder now thanks to the shield if they're paying attention, but sometimes people really sleep on that. He's actually going to be coming into the mid here, going to see harassing up the Tinker with his right clicks. Obviously, support with 4 armor here. Very good at trading right clicks.
Important to recognize too, if the courier comes out before 3 minutes, it will not be flying, and therefore it will have no shield potential, which is why getting it right now is so particularly important, because you're probably not going to be able to kill it later.
So far, just kind of standard lanes here, dual lane mids, and it's going to be dual lane for each of the safe lanes coming from both teams right now.
Putting the Phantom Lancer up against the Tinker feels like a pretty big mistake to me. At this stage in the game, yeah, once he gets the Soul Ring, he'll be able to last hit occasionally with Spirit Lance, but that laser is so difficult to deal with if you're a melee hero. You're always within range of it. The 100% miss chance that comes out just makes it literally impossible to last hit. And
yeah.
Right now he's keeping up, but as soon as that bottle comes out and this Tinker can start just harassing him out of lane, I don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah, and using 125 mana to secure a last hit with your lance every time feels quite bad.
Yeah, especially since you're going to be giving up health to do so.
Do you think Gyrocopter would have been a better alternative here, since that he is ranged?
Yeah, I do think Gyrocopter's range really isn't very good, so you still have to deal with the laser, but at least you're forcing the Tinker to take the laser positionally, right?
Right.
At least the Tinker has to walk sort of into the creeps to do it, and potentially you have the opportunity to rotate somebody in and kill him, because right now the Tinker can sit pretty far back and still manage to laser the PL, not have to put himself in any real danger to do so. Whereas against Gyrocopter, you'd have to move in a little bit farther.
Top lane, there's going to be a Nightmare over in the Naga Siren. There's going to be right clicks coming out and an Anchor Smash, but with no longer CC, Ku is going to be able to just walk out fine. Very tanky support on Naga Siren. 7 armor to start with, even with a Stout Shield on her as well.
Yeah, position 3-5, Bane is going to be moving up. I think he just caught sight of Cow. Maybe not. No, he must have missed it. Just narrowly.
Yeah, just going to be working on the stack for his Lycan buddy. Actually, rather his Tidehunter buddy, I guess.
Yeah, and he's also going to take one for himself, which is nice. Wow, these two ships passing in the night. I don't think 3 and 5 and Cow have seen each other yet, even though they're hanging out in the same area.
Yeah, and it's not even in the night.
Aggressive.
It's in the morning as well. 1337 actually getting slow. He's going to decide to TP out, but the net is there to cancel it. No chance for him to get out. But Bane's going to get out. So another kill going over. So 1-1 right now. UBC getting some revenge for the first blood.
Yeah, they needed a Nightmare onto that Naga Siren to buy the time for the Tide to TP out. A little bit of a miscommunication
very good
there.
point.
Once again, you know, Toronto is just a hair off of that strong communication that you really need to be able to execute these kind of plays and these kind of escapes, which, especially considering the amount of coordination that they're going to require with their ults, in order to defend against this kind of push, they need to make sure that they're maximizing the use of their ults every single time and that they're not stacking them ineffectively or anything like that.
Yeah.
I am a little bit worried about this team moving into the mid game unless they can shore up their execution together.
Yeah. But UBC also with a team that has considerable execution barrier here with the Naga, Siren, and Enigma, of course. Oh, mid lane. There's going to be a Spear out on the Big Bun Theory. He's going to be trying to TP out, but the Nightmares are going to cancel. Potion 3-5 actually has a haste rune as well. Allison coming in to just poke their head in. Get some assist goal for his side, but not much more than that. Top lane, there might be action on 1337. Is there going to be the net? No, there's going to be just a Riptide. Looks like it's going to be a harass. They know they don't have the damage to take him down just yet.
Yeah, that Tinker must not have noticed that the Bane had a haste rune, because trying to TP there doesn't make any sense, right? He's not level 6, so he can't refresh it. And now he's going to miss 2 or 3 lanes, or excuse me, 2 or 3 waves, in addition to dying. And you know, with the haste rune on the Bane, there's a 0% chance that he gets out there.
Bot lane, there's going to be a missile onto Enigma. His very low health. One more last hit will do it, and they will take it. CJ coming in, and Ku also as well. There's going to be a TP attempt for Allison. Barely gets out. Actually dies in the fountain to a dual breath. No way. And Poison 3-5 is going to be able to TP out fine. Wow.
See, now that's a TP escape that you try, right?
Yeah.
Like, it sucks for the Shadow Shaman that now he has to walk back out, but he is a support. Doesn't really matter if he's going to miss a couple waves.
Oh, mid lane.
He's planning on rotating anyway.
And God's gift to woman getting really aggressive on Tinker. Knows he has a 2-level advantage here up against the Tinker. Yeah, Ku coming in to give assist to the Big Bun who really needs it. As you said, that missing out on that creep experience after dying really put himself behind.
Yeah, now there's nothing he can do, ironically. We were talking about how the laser should be able to zone out the PL, but even if he slides 1 or 2 levels behind, the PL is going to be able to get up enough damage with that nuke to completely force the Tinker out of lane. And right now, the Tinker should still generally be able to tell which PL is the real PL just by
There'll be a little fight here in the river, and actually this is going to be just a disengage, sleep onto Nagasar, and this is going to prevent the net from coming out, so yeah, just a little scuffle here.
So, what I was trying to say is that the Tinker should still be able to tell which PL is the real PL, even when there's illusions, based on which ones are doing damage. So he should still be able to hit that laser pretty much 100% of the time. But because he's so far behind in levels, the PL is able to nuke out with that, and also the fact that the PL was able to get his soul ring pretty fast.
Yeah.
He's able to nuke out 200 lance damage every 7 seconds. Ouch.
Yeah, PL also being able to, if he really needs to, doppelganger to purge that laser debuff off of himself. Of course, it is on a 20-second cooldown. Actually, missing a kill on the top lane there is going to be a little bit of a dive between the Bane and the Tidehunter chasing down the Naga Siren.
Yeah, I mean, yes, there are moments in these rotations, pretty much all of them, that the communication could be a little bit better. Coordination could have been a little bit, more fine-tuned. But overall, the fact that they're going out and getting stuff done is really, really important for Toronto, right? Because right now it's the stage of the game where they have the advantage.
Most
Enigma
definitely.
is really weak at this stage in the game and isn't really able to contribute very much of anything at all. Tinker is really weak at this stage in the game, isn't able to contribute very much of anything at all. The Lycan is pretty strong, but he's not going to regularly leave his lane. The Naga Siren as a support, pretty weak at this stage as well.
Yeah.
So they have all of the lane advantages that they could possibly want, but they won't have them forever. They're doing a very good job of applying pressure, even when sometimes they're muddling the ground where they're applying that pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. This UBC team actually lacks quite a bit on the side of nuke, at least on the early game. Of course, Tinker the only one that has any sort of nuke there, but he's quite far behind right now. Support of Naga Siren, obviously, she doesn't do much damage. She's mostly there just for the utility. And Enigma and Lycan both just trying to farm it up.
I mean, the Tinker being behind is a really, really big deal too, because until the lanes are opened up, he doesn't have a ton of
Top lane is going to be a Ravage onto Hill, but there's 2 TP rotation coming in. They got to be careful about this. Yeah, Allison's going to be chased down. There's no way that he's going to get out of this. Even the Maledict coming out as well. Rest in peace, Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, that's a nice little turn for them. This is going to quickly become the stage in the game where Enigma's able to start contributing, the Lycan's able to start pushing, and this is what Toronto were trying to get out ahead of.
Yeah,
They
Tinker
did
actually
do-
gets found as well in his own jungle. Spears coming out, and the Brain Sap is going to blow him up. CJ tried to come in to help, but he's a little too late.
They've done a really good job of shutting the Tinker down, and the Tinker doesn't really have a lot of good flash farm opportunities right now, because the March of the Machines is just really not that effective in the jungle anymore, and plus the Enigma's eating the whole jungle, so there's nowhere really for him to go.
Yeah, there are a couple of stacks his team prepared for him, but might not be enough. There's going to be TP attempt on Bane here, but the Maledict is going to be, Malfist is going to be there to stop him from going that. But Ellison's there with the assist. That Polymorph is just going to be enough to get him out.
He dodged the missile damage with Nightmare, with that
Oh, did he?
invulnerability period, and that's what kept him alive, yeah.
Yeah, well played. Nightmare. Such a flexible spell.
Yeah, you can
Mid
really
lane dive.
do a
God's
lot
gift to woman. Feeling confident here, CJ. But one more spear will do it. 2 more seconds for that to go, and there it is. He's going to take that kill as well. Actually, PL getting a Helmut Dominator for himself. Of course, Heal has picked up himself in the jungle as Lycan as well. So not really an item I've seen on Falancer before. What do you think about that?
I think that it's definitely a choice that he can make.
Oh, looks like actually, missing a big kill there. I'm sorry about that. That's Hill going down in his own jungle. Looks like I had to have no vision up on the high ground, so they just saw him take that stack. And with Shadow Shaman and Bane there, that's no problem at all.
Yeah, and they are doing a really good job of continuing to apply this pressure. There's also a Midas going up on the Enigma, so that I think is the wrong call if you're this team, right? You basically built this entire squad around getting out to a fast lead, starting really before 10 minutes. I said that they should get a tower. We are now pushing 11 minutes, and they haven't done any significant tower damage at all.
Yeah, speaking of, they lost 2 towers already and 1 more tower to about to go down. So complete opposite result of what should be happening, at least from what we thought. Missile going into Enigma. There's no going to be no follow-up, but that actually really hurts. Shapeshift coming out from the Lycan. Techi's got to get out of here. ASAP. Techi's, of course, playing the gyrocopter. Like, he's trying to run. He can't TP out, even if he wanted to. There is going to be a Naga net to stop him. He's trying to juke in the trees here, but Heal is very, very fast. Missile stops him for a time being, but the net is there. The Wolves providing the vision for that to happen.
Yeah, very nice between Cow and Heil, but yeah, they almost lost another whole tower out of that. They did lose, in fact, a tower in the mid lane.
In the top lane as well, the ward's being committed on the top.
Yeah. This is looking grim. This is a stage in the game where they should start to be taking advantage if they haven't done so already. Yeah. And there's still a Midas coming out on this Enigma that has even the recipe hasn't been purchased yet.
Oh yeah, he's quite behind on the Midas, and also another tier 2 being taken at 12 minutes right now. God's Gift to Women using the Holland Dominator to be able to dominate another siege creep to help with that push. And the attack speed aura, nothing to be messed with.
Yeah, that Hand of Midas is going to be able to eat the Phantom Lancer's helmed creep, but I really don't think that is enough reason to get a Hand of Midas.
Definitely not.
12 minutes as a jungle Enigma. It's just really, and the Tinker needs them to be pushing to open up space, because the only way he's able to flash farm is if the lanes are pushed out, so that he can use his TP boots, which he doesn't have yet, move out, and knock things down with the March of the Machines in the waves, right? That's the only way he flash farms.
Yeah, Tinker's still 1.3k gold away from his travel boots. You kind of expect Tinker to have this around the 10-minute mark. Just showing how behind he is in this game so far.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him come out in CSL games sometimes as early as 7.5 minutes. So the fact that we're at 13 minutes and he's not even close to them tells you just how useless the KCY is right now.
Oh, and he's going to get found in the jungle as well. That travel boots can say goodbye, at least for now. Huge Ravage coming out, catching 3, and a Shackle is going to be there as well. Actually, Ice Path does not stop the Shackles, but a Sleep is going to be there from the Ku to be able to save his carry. He might sacrifice himself. Let's see if he can get out here. Yeah, he's going to be okay. Great sleep usage there. Do they know Old Baby Wayne is there? Yes, there's going to be a Sayer Banisher who sees him, I think. 1337 is going to find him. Gush coming out. That slows him down. It's going to be a follow-up here. He has no TP on him. Still trying to go for that Midas. If he dies without being able to get this Midas, when he's this close, it would be a pain. Ellison, can you get there? No, he's going to be able to get out. Barely.
Yeah, but what do they do? I mean,
Bane
with the
chased
Midas
down.
purchase attempt coming out here on the Enigma, it's going to be a long time before he has a blink. Right. They do manage to get the Bane.
Yeah, pushing 5. That's the X face there to show that he is properly dead. But it is just a support going down, and all the outer towers already taken here at 14 minutes. Pretty crazy. And Heal getting chased down again from God's Gift to Woman. Oh, he's just going to use a Diffusal Blade to take down this Dark Troll Summoner. That's 125 gold and experience, because that is a dominated creep.
In every lane from every hero plus all creeps, they've gotten 315 tower damage at 14.5 minutes. With a Naga Siren, a Jakiro, an Enigma, a Tinker, and a Lycan. That's about as bad of a sign as you could possibly have for the sign. Like the KD does not represent how bad of a position this team is in. And they really just need some extremely strong rat potential or some extremely good turns in fights before they have any chance of coming back here.
Yeah, my goodness. Yeah, I just checked the towers. middle and the bottom tower were still in mint condition, untouched, unopened here for Toronto. Until just right now, bot tower got scratched a little bit. Shadow Shaman on the bottom lane is going to be an unlucky target of the ire of the UBC team. While Big Bun Theory goes down yet again in the mid lane, but they trade their Shadow Shaman for which they will gladly take. That Tinker getting farther and farther away from his boots timing.
Yeah, and honestly, at this stage in the game, he's so far behind that boots timing, the boots aren't even going to be useful when he gets them.
Yeah, and
Because
look how
where's he gonna
fast they
teleport?
take these towers.
Yeah.
And this is even without the Shadow Shaman wards.
Ravage is up right now as well. They pushed that, they timed that just perfectly. This is exactly what I was talking about before. They really need to maximize the use of their cooldowns.
Yeah.
They pushed into that tower with 4 seconds left on Ravage, which means nobody can push up into them.
Oh, there's gonna be Ice Path coming out. Are they gonna chase? No. Techies just pops that Flak Cannon and just does massive damage to everyone. Ku is gonna try to song it out here, trying to get God's Gift to Woman, and he gets caught. There's gonna be the Black Hole there catching on to 2. It does kill the Bane, but there's gonna be counter initiate finally coming out from the Ravage. And now Heal is going to be in trouble. God's Gift to Woman, he also has to watch out as well, but he is quite tanky. Heal barely gets out, and the laser going to be finished. God's Gift to Woman. Maybe overextending here. CJ finding techies with the Ice Path, and the Gyrocopter goes down in flames. 30-37, now trying to get out. The actual missile actually catches him. 30 turns it around, kills the Jakiro, and without any more cooldowns here for UBC, it looks like that is going to be the end of the fight. That's going to be 2.6k gold going over to UBC. But that was a melee Rex taken.
Enough. Yeah, that's not enough to justify melee Rex. I mean, 2.5 is fine at this stage in the game, but you're still down 10k.
Yeah.
Right? That's,
Objectives gives you so much gold.
yeah. Now, granted, every time you lose an objective, or every time your opponents take an objective, you get more out of every kill you get from them, right? Because that's giving everyone on your opponent's team higher net worth, and so the actual AoE gold calculation takes into account how much your opponent team has as a whole and how much you have as a whole. So for every tier 1 tower you're behind, you get about 1% of a tier 1 tower for every additional kill you get. For every tier 2, you get about 1 to 2% of a tier 2 tower. So, you know, each one of those kills gave them 3% of a tier 1 and 6-ish% of a tier 2 in terms of net worth, in addition to whatever they would normally get, which is quite a bit, which is why they earn so much, right? But the problem is they did not get enough in order to even out their play advantage. So they're probably going to lose another Axe before they're able to regularly even out the item advantage.
Yeah, even if it wasn't already a problem taking these guys down, they're going to now deal with an Aegis on the techies here. Techies playing the Gyrocopter yet again.
Just technology inside of technology. You've got bomb makers inside of a gyro.
Yeah, I mean, he does throw bombs around, right? So I guess it makes sense. He has 2 bomb skills. He has
I mean,
a
if you
missile
look at
and
that
the call down.
gyrocopter, it is not big enough for a full-grown human. So that is clearly a gnome of some kind. They must be cousins.
Yeah. I believe they're called Brightkins in the game. Oh, they actually, meanwhile, talking about lore, position 3 and 5, and Allison gets taken down by the big rush here from UBC. Now 30-37 might be in a little bit of trouble. This is a Necro 3, I believe I see here. They don't have any stun yet until the Centaur can get in front of it. 1 second until the stomp, but 30-37 is a little too tanky. And he'll stop the chase once Transform wears off.
I really like this Force Staff pickup from the Enigma. It's, you know, the Force Staff is cheaper both in total and in its components than a Blink Dagger. It still, with its reveal, will help him get into position for a Black Hole. And it also helps make sure that his allies are able to get away from the PL, get away from the call down, and get away from the Bane.
Yeah.
It's a good pickup. I think it probably should have come before the Hand of Midas, and the Hand of Midas should have been a Blink Dagger, but at least they're starting to make some decent calls, and they're by no means completely out of this. They really need to start making really good moves.
So first tower being taken now by UBC, working on second tower. Big Bun Theory finally glad to have that boost of travels to give himself some freedom here, but now forced to push back to his base. Of course, God's Gift to Woman about to knock on this high ground with his Aegis of the Immortal. But what can they do against this Tinker? They need obviously probably a blink initiation from this Tidehunter to be able to catch Big Bun Theory off guard.
I honestly don't think the Tinker's that big of a problem for them. Yeah, March of the Machines hurts, and so does all the other, magical damage that they're able to put out. But these guys have the Phantom Lancer illusions just to be able to chip the tower down. They don't actually need to physically be standing up there as a team. They also have the Serpent Wards, which are immune to anything Tinker has. Right?
Yeah. Poking away at this middle tower. No racks, rather. No tower there anymore. Yeah, they're just trying to find the opening to be able to get in. They do find at least the shrines to take. At least take away more places that Tinker can TP to, which can be very nice.
Yeah, they are being very gingerly about this, and I think they really just need to go in and do it. The longer that they wait, the less their 7-8K advantage is going to mean. And we see a lot of teams get into trouble this way in CSL, which is kind of what worries me here.
BKB finished up on Gyro. Maybe that's what they were waiting for. He has 2 more minutes left on his Aegis right now.
They definitely need to make something happen.
Oh,
but
Ellison finds
Cole.
Ellison? He's not doing anything. So we'll be chasing down after Techies, who pops the BKB immediately, trying to do as much damage as they can with the flat cannon. There is going to be the Ravage coming out on 2 there. Tinker getting taken down. CJ also soon to follow. Heal now the target. The missile going to be on him. And the Fiend's Grip coming out. No chance for the Wolf to go anywhere. Double buybacks coming out on Jakiro and the Lycan. No buyback on Tinker, who probably they need for defense here. Lycan without Shapeshift is not very scary. Serpent Wards get dropped, but of course they don't get stopped by the song here. They gotta be watch out not to take too much damage from it. Heal trying to go in aggressively. Oh no, the Black Hole gets cancelled for now by the Nightmare. He catches none with it. Great play by the Bane. Allison finds that kill, and Ku just calls a GG. They throw in the towel with God's Gift to Woman finishing up that kill, ending the game with 18 and 11, but that doesn't really tell the story of this game. Toronto with a dominating victory.
Yeah, this game basically came down, I think, to the decision to have an Enigma undermining the lane potential for Dire side. If they hadn't picked the Enigma, if they had picked a more of a 4-spot role so that the Tinker could actually have been receiving some help, this game probably goes a completely different way.
Yeah, I completely agreed. So probably that Enigma should have been looking for, you think, like a Blink Dagger rush there to be able to help his team in the mid game.
Yeah, or they should have just drafted a different hero. Anytime you pick a jungler, if your opponents are good, they will apply pressure to you, and the Tinker was not ready for that. As a player or as a hero. He's just not a hero that deals well into heavy pressure, which means that you need to be on the aggressive. So either the Tinker needed to be a more sustainable mid, or the Enigma needed to be a better roaming support.
Alright, so we'll see if UBC can turn this game around in game 2. That will be coming up in a few minutes, guys. Go and get a drink of water, go to the washroom, because you don't want to miss a second of the next game coming up.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.